Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourselves in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours. The hour has grown quite late. It is about 2 o'clock in the morning, that time when the pubs and clubs are generally disgorging the refuse filth from their dance floors. As Samira is trudging her way back to the Hindu temple in Ballymun, laden with many containers of Indian food. At this moment, a car will pull up containing Dr. Maeve O'Doran, the hacker simply known as Jinx, and a very wounded and still shaky-looking Damien York. The two will meet as they converge outside the empty temple grounds.
I'm tired. I need a nurse. Bloody hell.
So I was told to get all this takeout. So I got the takeout.
By the way, you would notice that Jinx has a very large wound on her chest.
Oh, and you've met Damien before. Damien used to have 2 arms. Damien doesn't have 2 arms anymore.
Everybody is very well bandaged up, though.
Okay,
Wait, is his arm gone, or does he only has like a limp, useless arm?
No, his arm is gone from the shoulder blade down.
Yep, he's missing an arm.
Okay, the initially always sort of nervous demeanor that Samira has immediately goes from mild unease to, you know, Sam's gonna say it. What the fuck happened?
I don't mean any disrespect. Today's been really fucked. Can we go inside, please?
I mean, we're on our way inside.
Right. So you can just hear with anyone else. I don't have the capacity to repeat myself over and over again.
Okay.
It might,
oh, sorry, continue, Ken.
it might be best if Mr. Damien regales us with the tale. It was him who experienced the brunt of it, should I say.
The door, by the way, at this point, very ominously, the doors of the temple will swing open.
And now while they walk in, Damien is going to say this to Sam. He's gonna say, "I'm gonna make that some of a bitch's life hell. That's what's gonna happen."
Okay, let's go inside.
Jackie, you basically you were seated outside of the main shrine room of the temple. You were told that when your superior was ready to see you, the doors would open and you would be allowed inside. So you were either sitting there meditating or listening to music or whatever it is. What would you be doing to pass the time?
Rolling his knuckles.
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
On his knuckles.
Okay, cool. As you gentlemen and ladies enter, you will see Jackie stood outside the shrine room rather nonchalantly. As you enter, the inner door to the inner sanctum of the temple will also open.
Walk.
All right. You see a huge statue. Well, not huge. It's about a size, and again, the size of a human being. Bear in mind, this is a Hindu temple in Dublin. The congregation is not huge, and this is the only one here. And you see seated at its feet, literally at its feet, this individual who's kind of sitting there very nonchalantly. One of her legs is swinging back and forth. Oh. It is good to see you all. I'm very sorry, Miss. I don't know your name. She'll say, gesturing with a finger towards Samira.
Yeah, Samira will respond. Samira, but everyone calls me Sam.
It is very nice to meet you, Samira. And she'll say that in Hindi.
Oh, then Sam will respond. Nice to meet you too, miss.
Ah, your parents, they were from somewhere in Kashmir, yes? I'm guessing by the accent.
Yeah.
And you have my food. Excellent. My apologies, she'll revert to speaking English. The Euthanatos view this as a very serious matter, so they wished me to come and speak to you. I'm not native to Dublin, you see, so I had Miss Samira gather me something to eat. I do hope that is agreeable to you all.
Jinx will nod her head.
Shiet, please, come in, sit down. There is a number of very comfortable kind of large pillows on the floor.
Take a seat on the pillow. Kind of nurse her chest.
I'm very sorry, she will say, looking at Damien with her her eyes are very grey. They're like the color of steel, and there doesn't appear to be any emotion in them. But her voice has emotion as she says, "That looks very painful and very new."
He's going to respectfully nod.
Are you all right to sit, or do you need some aid?
I'm good. Thanks.
She will kneel, and she'll kind of gesture. She'll pat a pillow beside her and look at Sam. Kind of like, come over here. You have my food.
Jackie hasn't sat on the pillows yet.
He will look up and he will say, "You do not sit in my presence."
He kind of keeps staring at her. We'll finish that. You want me to, or do you want me over here?
She will smile and she will say, "I would like you to sit. We are here to speak. You're quite safe. Though it is always good for the watchful hawk to keep their eye on every avenue. Do you not agree?"
Reckon so.
She will start to take out the food. For the record, as she does so, she will start to. There's far too much food here for one person. There's a huge amount of it. Poor Samaya was probably out for the better part of an hour arranging it. As she will set down in front of you the food that you would almost likely enjoy out of an Indian restaurant. She will say, "I do hope you will forgive the liberty, but I ordered food for you all. I think that you should rather enjoy the choices I made."
She'll eat. Thank her. Thanks, Samira.
Do I need to make a belief roll to eat properly?
Beg your pardon?
Do you want me to make a belief systems roll so that I know how to eat like a native there?
Oh no, not at all. Basically, this is just takeout food. They literally just eating it out of plastic containers with you know, like just some plastic forks and cutlery. They're not being fancy. Even the main Euthanatos.
The thing is that he eats it like a person would from there instead of like someone just eating out of plastic. Got it.
Before she eats, she will bow her head, and you will hear her say, Samira will hear her say, she'll speak in Hindi, she'll say, "Blessed Vishnu, you who spoke the word, created all. You who decided that we would be your children and made us and brought us and kept us. Keep us ever safe from the minions of darkness, the Deva and their servants. Let us rise above, and let us always proceed. This life to the next and to the next. Samana, Hamanase." It's like a benediction that Hindus say before they have their main meal.
Yep. Sam stays pretty silent and doesn't touch the food while that's happening. She doesn't really correct anyone if they just like dig in immediately, for obvious reasons.
She will then, when she's done praying, gesture for people to eat as she herself pulls down the mask. You see that her face is covered in very intricate tattoo work that goes from like the sides of her lips all the way up to her ears, down her face, down from her lower lip, down her neck, etc. As she says, "Now then, I will get straight to business if you do not mind if we eat and talk." Miss Jinx, my colleague here in the city forwarded your message to me. As I said, I am personally based in Cardiff and the northern Atlantic region, but he seemed most concerned, and I wished to know why it is that you have made such allegations against a member of our organization.
Jinx will kind of very pointedly, I was on my way for a routine checkup with the good doctor, as she points at Mora. And there I met Sam. And on my way out, I got a message that that one Mr. Michael O'Sullivan of the Thanatos had jeopardized and sold us out to the technocracy.
The eyes don't change, the voice doesn't change as she says, I see. This is a very grave allegation to make, my friend.
With that, I came in and the doctor was giving me new bandages on my chest, and I met the sorcerer Damien. And basically, 5 minutes later, a white coat and two technocratic agents showed up at the domicile of Dr. Mora and proceeded. They told us very pointedly that they were going to take us to room 101 to have us reassimilated. And closely after, a fight broke out, and two of the technocratic agents were cut in half. Another one is being interrogated. Will be interrogated for future information, and it might behoove everyone else that received a telephone from me that information is not compromised. Since
she will raise her hand and she will say, whilst I understand the issues that you may have had with technocrats, I must ask, how is it that Mr. O'Sullivan is himself involved in this malaise?
Oh, the technocrats fully identified him as such.
But in what manner? How is it that... Did he speak where you were? I'm trying to understand how he is involved.
He's involved because the technocrats, word for word, gave an account of the telephone that I gave him on a previous night to help with the war that's happening currently right now.
Yes. What about this telephone?
She'll kind of two halves of a telephone. She'll retrieve from her pocket, and she'll put it on the table. She said, "This phone." I snapped mine.
What did he do with the phone? I'm confused. Did he alert the technocrats as to your presence? And if so, how did he do so?
Essentially, he left from according to what they said, he left, according to I just regurgitate the message because Anthony's getting a little tongue-tied. It's late. It's 4 o'clock in the morning over here.
All right.
Don't worry about it, Anthony.
Tim doesn't know the message, so if I can get a...
Evan has a written copy of the message, and Anthony also has a written copy of the message, so he'll read it out. Basically, the message will read, "My dearest Jinx, I would recommend before you provide encrypted material to idiots again that you stop and consider your list of friends. One Mr. O'Sullivan stayed on the line with us to dead space for 5 minutes to a known technocratic phone. If I didn't know better, I'd swear he was trying to sell you out. Well, needless to say, we now have access to your entire network, so all of your friends are compromised. I hope you have a pleasant day. Love, Unity."
On that note, Samira immediately just the SIM card and battery out of her phone, if it's possible.
Yeah. She'll just hand it over and Jinx will just snap it in half. I'll buy you another one.
She will look puzzled as she says, I can understand that this is ignorance, but this is a very severe allegation you make. Could it be that he simply did not understand that the wheels and minds of the technocracy and how it is they operate?
And then she will just point, maybe she'll just point at Dr. Mora. I don't want to swear, and she's far more eloquent than I. I've spent too much time with the patriarchy. I have no spoons for this. I'm about to start swearing.
Doctor.
Maeve looks like she's been drawing out new schematics and everything because now she's got to go find a new place for her lab. And then she'll kind of look up and say,
Oh,
My
no,
apologies.
Kim, you don't.
She
Because
doesn't.
No, because your lab has something very important.
The lab has a node?
No, your lab has arcane. They will forget where it is. And that arcane is always on.
They still managed to get there the first time, though. So
That was because they had a direct cell phone link. Because your cell phone still existed and wasn't broken.
well, okay, look, she doesn't deal with technology and stuff like that. She's a doctor, so she's still just
I'm
kind of
pointing out, as the GM, Evan is pointing out, you can still have your kick-ass, I live under a mental institution lab.
Okay. She'll just kind of look up from that, though, and she'll say, my apology. What am I needed to explain?
Explain the, your point of the story, Dr. Mora. Dr. Mib, sorry.
Thank you. I won't regale you with the beginning of the story. To be fair, that is how I met Mr. Damien in my lab. As we were walking through and I was showing him the experiments I was working on, quelling his thoughts that I was doing human experimentation, I remembered that I needed to change the bandages for Miss Jinx, seeing as the serious injuries she sustained the other day. I gave her the location via the cell phone that she gave me, considering that was the only way that I had to contact her. When she arrived at my laboratory, guided by Felix, she then told me to destroy my phone because the technocracy had been able to crack the encryption. That was when 2 black suits and a white suit showed up. They were all...
She will calmly raise her hand and she will say, yes, Shaki, I understand that element of the story. As I have said, I am contemplating that this is simple ignorance. Samaya, Shian Shiothe. For the record, that literally translates in Hindi as little sister. She will say, is this Michael character? Tell me of him as a member of our order.
Am I to talk freely in this situation?
There's a very quick, curt nod.
Okay. Sam will start and say, he is very new to us. Even newer than me. He was still coming to grips with the nature of his existence and how he should pursue his dharma. I believe that struggle manifested in a few problematic ways.
Yeah. She will say, kind of gesturing for you to go on.
For one, he provided the good death to someone, and whilst I am still very inexperienced with everything, even I am unsure as to whether it was deserved or needed at the time.
She will very, like, this is the first time anything has broken as an eyebrow goes up immediately. She will kind of look at you very intently. She'll say, "May I see through your eyes?"
Yes. But I assume there's going to be some time to shenanigans?
No. Basically, she's going to look back through your memories.
Yeah. So, yeah, she'll basically see what went down in that scene in the Umbra.
You hear kind of her mumble under her breath some of the things that are being said. Like, for example, because I just checked the scene, Grog's exact words were, "No, you die now." And his last words were, "For the glory of the technocrat, bang." So you hear her say those words under her breath, because she's basically watching the memory and repeating it. She disconnects from you. She was eating, she was eating a kind of a spiced chicken dish. She will put her utensils down, put the lid on the box, and push it away and say, "I am no longer hungry." There is a difference between the good death and murder. You can actually, like, she's quite deeply affected, clearly. Not necessarily like deeply emotionally. You can't really see the emotion that's playing across her face, but she appears to have gone incredibly deep contemplative.
Okay, I don't know what she's feeling, but she's definitely feeling ways.
Yeah.
Mm.
Jinx will kind of raise her hand.
Okay.
What's? I don't mean to be disrespectful. What's the difference?
She will kind of gesture to Samira. Or no, she'll gesture to Jackie, actually, because Jackie hasn't said much.
He kind of looks over at her and he goes, "One you're supposed to do and one you ain't. Murder for you. It ain't dishonorable. It's to make you feel better. It ain't got nothing to do with the other person. We got this whole way of doing things, and there's a couple rules in it. Self-control, compassion, all that type of thing. All goes into taking somebody out. Because you done seen it and lived it and unlived it. You done been to the other side. And you know what you're doing. Now you got to make sure that you right with what you about to do. Now just murdering somebody is just damn murder. It ain't got no point. It don't help nobody. It ain't benefit nobody. And it don't make things better. You got sent there because you felt like doing it. Now, a good death is somebody who's in pain, needs to be put out their misery. It's a person who has done wrong, who has transgressed, and that person has been judged. They on this side or the other. That's a difference.
Okay.
And Damien is going to take a page out of Jinx's book and he's going to lift his hand up.
His one hand. I'm sorry.
Damn.
One hand.
Shade.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
She will.
Oh no.
There he go.
Sorry about that. Jackie had his hand up. And he will say, sorry, not Jackie, Damien? It's Damien?
Yeah.
It is Damien. She will kind of point at you. Once again, she appears like she's deep in thought, but she is listening, so she'll point at you. And she'll say, please, speak, Shiati.
And he's going to say, with all due respect, miss, ignorance does not equal innocence. Even as an unawakened person, I know that technocracy are the bad people.
How did you lose your arm, Shiat? By the way, once again, if for Samira, Shiat means my son or little one. It's kind of a compassionate term.
All right, awesome.
He's going to look pained and he's going to say, it happened while I was trying to get rid of a technocracy bomb which they had on them. As I was trying to throw it away, it exploded and my entire arm caught fire.
She will then very calmly look at Maeve and she will say, you are a doctor, a person who believes in logic and the causality of effects, yes?
Indeed.
Were it not for this man and his misstep, would you have been placed in danger this evening?
By this man, do you mean Mr. Damien?
No. I mean the Thanatos, Mike.
If he had not done what he had, Mr. Damien would still have his arm. None of us would have been placed in danger.
And I would be dead if Dr. Maeve was not there.
You see her exhale very, very deeply. There's a look of she will point at the three of you, at Jinx, at Maeve, and at Damien, and she will say, "Leave us. Wait outside, please."
Not. Jinx will go to help up Sam. Taking like his good arm.
Yeah, he's gonna get up with her help and leave with Jinx.
Maeve will leave as well.
The figure stands up, and you see the knife. You see the two swords she is wearing on her belt. They're sheathed. Moment, she says, "He has taken one life that was not his to take, and were it not but for intervention of enlightened methods, tonight he would have taken another. This is unacceptable." She turns, and she's going to look. What are the facial demeanors of? What's Jackie's facial like? What's his expression like at the moment?
His pretty brown eyes are looking directly at hers. He looks like he's waiting.
Her eyes are as steely and grey as you can possibly imagine. And what's Samira's face like? Samira will be much easier to read, no doubt.
Yeah, her face is very similar to the one in this picture.
So what? I'm an angry bitch. Come at me.
Um,
I see that as an
not
angry face. I don't know why.
is it angry face? Oh, okay. It's more of a
Incredulous.
Ooh,
Yeah.
good wording.
yeah. There we go. 'Cause she already felt ways about the technocrat dude. Was the chick able to feel Samira's emotions at the time as she was experiencing her memories too?
Oh yes.
Yeah, then there was like
Well,
surprise.
no. I will amend that. You knew that she wanted to feel your emotions. You can have hit. She will not have forced you to share them if you didn't want to.
She would have shared them.
Okay.
Sadness, surprise, lots of regret. Um, by the prayer that she made to him before they left, that she made to his body.
She will say, I ponder. One of you has the face of a soldier. One of you has the face of a penitent. What would you do, Samira? I have already. She will actually raise a finger and she'll say, I have already made up my mind as to what I will do, so your words will not sway me. I really wish to know your heart.
There must be some kind of response for his actions. Do I believe that they deserve death? Well, I can see many arguments for that. But if we are to kill everyone that makes mistakes, the world would be far smaller.
There is wisdom in that statement. And you, brave soldier, what would you do?
I'd follow the rules, ma'am. Rules say it ain't my kill, ain't her kill, and ain't your decision. It's betwixt him and his mentor.
She will nod and she will say, the man who trained him, I am led to understand, is on assignment and cannot unfortunately be removed. So, until that point, it does fall to me. This is mostly out of character because he never wrote up anything about his mentors, so Evan kind of has to do a bird in the bush moment. He will say, or she will say rather, both of you have one imperative that I wish for you to carry out with all of your strength to whatever end you feel is necessary. The Kavati, she kind of contemplates her next words. The Chakravanti. Why do they all begin with K? Or C?
Chakravanti doesn't begin with K, it begins with C.
I'll fight you IRL, Tim, goddammit. The Chakravanti in this city have fallen from grace. You are both to do all within your power to restore that grace. Pay the debt. The boy is owed a debt. The dead man is owed a debt. That debt will be paid. Am I understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Shit.
Yes.
Good. Bring them back in. I have something I must do.
Jackie gets up and goes outside to where they're standing and goes, y'all come on back in now.
Jinx will walk back in. Help Damien sit if he needs it.
Maeve will head back in as well.
Damien is with Jinx.
The lady walks over and kneels in front of you, and she actually presses her head to the floor in the full kowtow position in front of Damien, and she says, "I owe you, on behalf of my order, an apology, and a debt that is owed in flesh and pain."
All right. If you consider that to be a debt that way, may I have your permission? May I have your permission, ma'am, to handle it?
She will hike herself up and she'll look at you, and she will shake her head, and she will say, "You are owed a debt of flesh and pain. I cannot give you a debt of life. However, I can do something else." Jackie,
Yes, ma'am.
this man is missing an arm. You can clearly see that, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
From his shoulder blade down.
Understood.
I believe that we should rectify Mr. Michael's karma so the debt is paid.
You got it, ma'am.
Then she will turn and look at him and point directly at his chest, and she will say, "He is your responsibility from this day until such time as you release him. His sins are your sins. His accomplishments, your accomplishments." Am I understood in that as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Chayat. She will basically at this point, without saying another word, she will stand, brush herself down, and she will start walking towards the door. And if no one else has anything to say to her, she will leave.
Jackie sits back down and starts to eat.
Eat.
You will see her step out of the room, and if you guys would like to RP amongst yourselves, you most certainly can.
I'm going to be a busy girl tonight. Wow, this is delicious. Thank you, Samara.
No problem. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry. I know it's worth precisely jack shit, but if you need anything, let me know. You too, Damien.
I do have more than anything, I want to live. And I want to do it the right way. And in order for us to survive and bring about the change that we need to bring about, I need to be able to trust that things will, I don't know, I don't have words for it yet, but we shouldn't, there's a bigger threat.
And Damien is going to look at Sam and is going to say, "What I need is restraint."
I can help you learn some of that if you like. As long as Jackie doesn't mind, I'd rather not step on his toes.
You can do what you want to do. This is some good eating.
All right.
He's gonna sigh and he's gonna say, I am one phone call away from setting the city of Dublin on him with a prize on his head.
If I might ask you a favor, could you hold on to that, sir? Could you not do that? That's a personal favor. If you're gonna do it, I can't really stop you. But I'd ask you not to do that to my tradition mate. There's a special thing that we can do, an intervention, if you were, when there are transgressions such as this.
That's exactly why I said I need restraint. I don't want to step on you guys' toes.
I can only ask. You're gonna do what you're gonna do. I reckon all y'all got a reason to be pissed at this sumbitch. I reckon you do. I reckon y'all are all gonna do whatever it is that y'all want to do to make him pay all day. And I would just simply ask that you look at it from his perspective and see maybe what he was thinking or whatever, and have some compassion for his situation. Whereas we in the Euthanatos would like to speak to him to gain his perspective and see what has been done. Because as you saw, his sins are my sins. And so compassion is what's needed in this particular situation before anything else. Revenge is a nasty thing on the wheel and sits on your soul.
Well, I've already lost an arm today. I'm game for pretty much anything else.
Yeah, like I said, you're gonna do what you're gonna do.
Okay.
We of the Euthanatos simply wish to speak to our brother before anything horrible or untoward could happen to him. We'd appreciate a little bit of leeway. Can you give us 2 days or so like that?
What happens if he betrays us again?
Well, if he betrays y'all again, well, I guess it's open season on him. But until then, I would ask that we be allowed to converse with him and see what it is that he is thinking, what's going on in his mind, as it were.
So I shouldn't seize all of his possessions.
Well, hell, that's only money. But if you want to prepare for that eventuality, you go right ahead. I can't stop you. I would simply ask that his corporeal form not be harmed in any manner. I need to speak to him, as does Samira.
All right. I will not do anything to his physical body.
That is all I ask. But that's all I can do is ask.
I'm not a fighter. Look at me. He kind of shrugs.
Oh. I'm just a mechanic.
I mean, if it means anything, I'm not a fighter either.
Like I said, just a mechanic.
God damn it, guys! Stop! You're dispelling the myth of the Thanatos being badasses.
Well, I made this character specifically to dispel that.
Well, if you can make an intelligence plus streetwise roll to know what mechanic means.
I'll make that.
I'll make
that. I got 4 intelligence.
Wait, int streetwise?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Oh, hey, there's a single.
2 successes.
Oh crap!
Does my spec and sheer brilliance apply?
Yes, Kim, because that amuses the fuck out of me.
Okay, that's 6 successes.
A mechanic is another term for an assassin.
He's not wrong.
Yep, because there's that Jason Statham movie called The Mechanic. Wait, no. That wasn't Jason.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
it's like how what was it? Fixers are meant to be like middlemen. Things.
Well then, I'm going to finish my food and I'm going to go home and I'm going to play. I will be back tomorrow, Doctor. Doctor O'Darren, for my dress changings.
Thank you. Mr. Damien, if it is not too much, I would like to keep you overnight for observation.
All right.
You kind of hear from your backpack, Kim. Can you please pass the chicken tikka this way?
She'll just kind of open the backpack and whisper into it, "Why are you here?"
Well, I was going to ask if we could pick up pizza on the way home, but I see you've already eaten.
She'll just put what food she didn't eat, which was a good bit because she wasn't too hungry, and she'll just kind of set it in front of the bag.
The cat will attempt to drag it into the bag.
Look, do not put this food inside of my bag. What if you spill it?
Put the food in the bag. Put the food in the bag. Do it. Do it.
Food.
It's already in the bag. About 10 seconds later. Oops. At which point you just see the bag fly across the room, away from Maeve at high speeds.
Did he just launch himself across the room in the back?
Yeah, yes, he did.
That was a damn fine meal. I'll take care of the cleaning, but if y'all don't mind, I'll take care of that. That's no problem.
Thank you. And with that,
I don't mind cleaning up a mess every now and again.
Sure you don't.
Is there anything y'all want to say, ask, or anything like that?
I have a very shitty disposition for bullshit. I need help. She just kind of says it. Help
With
me
what?
learn restraint.
Well, okay. It ain't hard.
I am an eternal flame. She just looks at you.
There's always something worse you can do. There's always something better you can do, too. So, I mean, do you want to do the thing that's worse, or do you want to do the thing that's better?
I want to do what feels good.
Well, self-control is part of that, as is compassion, as is realization that another person, so basically, you would let somebody else control your reactions.
You have a point.
There you go.
But it would feel good right now.
My granny used to say that if you go to a bridge out to the creek and you see somebody jump into the damn thing and you see good and hell well it ain't deep enough and they jump and they call you a sissy and they jump on in there and they break their leg, well, you're a goddamn idiot. So, don't follow an idiot is basically what my granny used to tell us. So anytime you see somebody do something foolish and you want revenge on them for doing something foolish, well, you're probably going to by God do something foolish too.
There's wisdom in that.
God, I hope so. Kept me from jumping in creeks that wasn't high enough.
She'll legitimately laugh.
Jackie, while he's in there, he just stomps on the ground real hard 3 times and waits for the people to tell him where the kitchen is that are probably hidden around here.
She's been gone long enough. You will notice 2 men, basically, that keep 100% right. You will notice 2 men who basically will step out of essentially perfect camouflage against 2 pillars, 2 red pillars. When I say perfect camouflage, as in they had chameleonized themselves using horses. And they say, "It's down the hall, second door on the left."
Thanks, y'all. He starts going down there.
And with that note, I think we can end the scene.
Yep.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene in Darkness in Dublin. Have a pleasant evening.